thinning of the herd, oh, whatever are we talking about? It's the pedals that you know and love. There's a lot of them out there, a lot of manufacturers. We predict in 2026, there will be a lot less.
A lot less.
We've already seen this happening with some of our favorite independent and boutique pedal makers, and part of this is all of our faults.
Probably.
Part of this, and multiple reasons, part of this is also this universe of what's going on with the tariffs happening right now. This is a direct effector on pedals.
Yeah.
A lot of those pieces have components coming from overseas. Even our favorite, largest independent manufacturers, we know they're all going to have to do price increases. So this is also a moment, before we get too deep into it, it's a pitch. You should, if you're on the fence about getting a pedal, like, just, get it now. Like, I can see price increases coming soon. And I'm not saying buy it from us, just get it. This isn't a pitch for you to buy pedals from us. Like, we have a small pedal selection.
A lot of these small builders that are going to be affected don't even sell in shops. They sell direct mostly through their own websites. You know what I mean? I think this was already happening some with COVID when it was so hard to get
100%.
parts, right? And it's so hard to get chips, and those things kind of went through the roof, and they were inconsistent. And even some of our really good friends kind of basically closed up shop during that time.
They kind of they either, if they didn't close up, they scaled back dramatically. And hey, I got to rely on
sort of disappeared. You know,
like I got to go to that real job that actually pays consistently, versus like I don't know how much this component from China is going to cost me next week.
Right.
And like sometimes it's even crazier. It's not just like how much does that cost you. It also depends on the price of the yen and how that reflects in the market. And like, are you buying at a higher low in the dollar versus the yen, dollar versus the pound if it's coming in from the UK? Certain manufacturers work that way. So your price as a retailer will be affected directly according to the fluctuations in the dollar and the yen and the pound and the euro, whatever you're getting from. So that's an interesting part. So why are we going to have a thinning of the herd, do you think?
Well, I think that there are so many pedal companies. And I don't want I'm not saying I want any pedal company to shut down.
No.
But I'm also maybe saying that just because you can make a tube screamer doesn't necessarily mean that you should be a pedal company. Because there are so many, and I do feel like sometimes we are relying on, I'm so sorry that I'm saying this, but we're relying on like catchy names and cool like little graphics on the pedal, like a thing,
but it
rather
is
than just a really good.
It's like cereal boxes.
Yes.
Like you walk into a store and you see like cool looking pedals, and it's a lot of that. You don't know what's under the hood. A lot of times it's the same crap that's just been sort of replicated. A slight tweak here and there. Is it really worth my buying dollars?
Right.
Like, I mean, as far as tube screamers, like, the tube screamer kind of nailed it. And then you get it, because everyone's copying it. But you can jump into like, Earthquaker's got some ones that do all the tube screamers, which is really cool too if you want to have that.
Earthquaker, JHS, they're doing that kind of thing.
Yes, like, you got to be careful though. Like we don't, like you're saying, I don't think we need 1,000 guys making a tube screamer. My favorites, I love the Way Huge Green Rhino. I think it's a really good take on tube screamer. I think that Brown amplification Gritador is really good. That's just
It's like the
Green Rhino.
The Green Rhino. The Gritador.
We were just talking about funny names.
They
came up with them years ago, so it's different.
It's different. It was the 90s. No, not the Gritador. It's pretty recent. But, if you're just calling in stuff, that gets tricky. That gets tricky fast. And I hope that those companies that actually are innovating and doing cool stuff are going to find a way. But I think that price increases are coming no matter what.
Well, they've been coming ever since you said the sort of plague of 2020.
Yep.
And then that's been sort of happening. It's been rolled in already. They're there.
Yep, for sure.
Now with the tariff stuff like this, this is going to affect your pedal purchasing power and ability to get through. So what should you do? If there's one you're on the fence about, just get it. Just get it now. Let's have it. Like if there's something that's coming out down the road, prices will probably increase and whatnot. We've seen it within a lot of the manufacturers. They're changing how they're invoicing. They're changing how they're accepting payments. Now they're going to have to change prices.
Right. They're
trying to structure, everything that's happening to figure out what to do right now. That's all.
And I hope some of this stuff gets sorted and maybe it's not as bad as we think. I do hope Derek made a good point when we were chatting about this, that if, let's say the cost of a pedal, and this is totally imaginary.
point.
This is not saying that these pedals only cost $10 to make, but let's say they cost $10 to make, and by the time they wholesale and blah, 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 it gets sold for $100, right? If now it costs $15 to make, $20 to make, double, it doesn't have to cost $200.
No.
Because, and I hate to say this, there are people who will take advantage of these things and will like wildly increase and say, "Oh God, we had to." And I hope that we don't see that as much as well.
They will. The company should spread the costs evenly across. But like when you have something like that, exactly, they're not going to like just double it. It doesn't make sense to. They will price themselves out of business.
Yeah.
Especially pedals are. Even though we're spending a minimum of $100, I feel like nowadays that's days of old. But like $200 seems the new normal.
$199 for
a
anything.
bass pedal.
Yeah.
That's almost in the music game. That's like a fire and forget spend. That's an impulse buy.
Man, I just
in the guitar
had
game.
a rough Tuesday. I think I'll order it.
I'm gonna feel better getting this pedal.
If I get this last two screamer, it's gonna nail that tone. $400 I feel like is like not.
That's not
absurd
like
anymore,
$390 or like $275 became a thing. It's fine. Like they're expensive. I get that. Now, how many components are coming from overseas? Quite a bit.
I would think a lot.
Even in our USA-made high-end amplifiers and stuff, there's overseas components that have to be brought in. Maybe they don't have to be in the future. Maybe that's part of this whole thing. Like we're gonna start manufacturing in the U.S. again. Maybe.
I'm cool with that.
That'd be cool.
Like that idea.
I doubt some of that, but I'd love to see it happen. I would love to see it. But even things like reverb tanks, we think of that, I think you got your thing, is it built in the USA? The reverb tank's built in the USA too. Well, some of the components for the reverb tank weren't built in the USA.
Right.
There might be the mic that hears the springs that are rattling that was built in China. And that's the one thing that might cost a little bit more, but it's the one thing that also breaks the most readily. And so like so how's that going to affect your cost and your accessibility? It's not just the cost of material, it's the cost of the importing. Obviously, it's the tariffing. We've seen that with manufacturing across the board, not just music-wise, where like things have increased exponentially.
Everything, yeah.
It's kind of crazy to watch. Like we fortunately deal in mostly USA-built stuff, and we got a whole shipment of English-built things that we're still waiting for parts to come into to finish the load. But it's going to be unique right now for the next bit. So 2026 is going to be a different landscape, I think, for boutique pedals.
The answer? Plugins. Just get rid of all your physical
and
possessions.
amps.
No, just get rid of amps, everything. Just plugins. Just carry your laptop around. Interface.
I can talk about this from Don't Mind the Train. We live next to a train station. We love it. That's the freight train, not the Amtrak. It's already been here, I believe.
There you go.
Now, I've seen a direct slowdown in calls too for people wanting to open up new guitar shops.
Oh.
That was something I would get calls. We have a fun YouTube channel. And everything seems fun, and really it is fun.
And it's great. It actually is kind of fun.
For the most part, it's really fun.
For the most part, it's fun.
There's some stuff, dealing with certain aspects of it is still, I guess, a job, sort of. I get angry a lot.
Dealing with this guy.
Man,
he's the worst ball.
They've only seen me on the phone. I'm like angry a few times, I think, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty. I'm usually pretty happy-go-lucky.
You're pretty nice.
I have to go into my little office that used to be a bathroom, and have uncomfortable conversations sometimes. But it's part of the deal. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all like it used to. Like it used to be. But no, I recommend, if people do call, it's a less frequency about opening a shop, because it seems fun and awesome. But I don't recommend it as much as I do unless you have a clear plan of what you're doing.
And it can't really be like you're looking back, like, oh, here's what's always worked. You kind of need you kind of have to be looking forward, right? Wouldn't you say that's true?
Which is a lot of people, I just want to start selling guitars. I'm like, cool, like what guitars do you want to sell? I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, look at these brands are really cheap to get in. I'm like, how many of those do you have to sell to pay your rent? Or to pay the people that work there? Like, let's figure it out.
But you can't pick random boutique stuff either, because that doesn't work. Like,
I love this one builder that's based out of Western Ohio that he's really cool, builds a great guitar. Has anyone ever heard of this guitar? It's like, and that's, so it's tricky. So I've seen that in combination with our pedals that we're talking about, all these boutique brands that have popped up, there's gonna be less of those popping up.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because it's just, they're going to look, if they're smart, they'll look at the cost of what can they build this for, the components,
Yep.
the time, the skill, the marketing, the packaging, the shipping, getting into retail if you want to, that's going to cost you margin spread as well if you're a pedal maker instead of selling direct. But getting into retail is the best way of getting your pedals actually played.
Yeah.
And heard. It's tricky. So they're gonna have to charge so much that it's hard. Like we see lots of boutique guitar makers.
Yeah.
All the time, like just to get someone to invest their hard-earned cash in this guitar, even though you think it's really cool, like sometimes you just want it to say Fender.
It's hard when it's an unknown, right? Like even when it's really, it has to be really, really, really good for someone to be like, you know what, let's roll the dice a little bit. And it's worth it sometimes. I see people with guitars that are amazing. A lot of those come on to, they grow and then suddenly they're not so boutique anymore. But that's just what happens. Same thing happens with pedals. I can remember when Wampler was sort of boutique, I felt like, right? And now, not as much.
Well, it's been fun to watch the rise of, Carlos and Casadosa, just to sort of see that. And he's been strong and firm to staying boutique. Yeah. I'm sure there's the desires to like expand as quickly and like to put your tentacles and into other things. But he's kept that, and he's kept his build quality up.
Yep.
They all work, and they're inspiring. That's something neat to see. I think certain pedal companies can still do that too. Like, how long is the wait list for that one pedal that I'm still on?
The King it's on forever.
When did I sign up for that? I don't remember.
It's been at least 2 years.
Somebody let us know in the comments what the wait list is supposed to be.
But I feel like, didn't you get a message not too long ago that was like your time's kind of coming up or something?
I don't think
like,
so.
Maybe not. Maybe I dreamed that.
I think you dream about me, I think.
I do.
And we all have dreams about each other in really strange ways.
We did. Now this is the important part of this actual video. We had our first gig.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday at the time of filming.
I think it went pretty darn well.
Our first real gig.
I had a lot of fun playing with you.
I had a lot of fun with you playing with me.
We had some drummer that played behind us too. I liked him too.
We did.
He was nice.
Pretty good.
The imperious Roland J. Beckerman.
Roland J. Beckerman.
And then that strange guy hopping keyboards sometimes when he was supposed to and sometimes when he wasn't.
Little Ronnie Huff.
And I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, there's keyboards right now.
Oh, weird.
I couldn't really hear them at all because it wasn't in the monitor, but I was fine with that.
It doesn't matter. I'm sure
because keyboards aren't a real instrument, in my opinion. It's just like playing the computer.
It's a lot of plastic.
There's no blood that happens from I'm having a little fun there, obviously. I want somebody to be really mad at home, like, damn it.
Oh my God, they hate keyboards?
Oh, they don't like Elton John, I guess? Or like Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
We love Elton John.
Everybody loves Elton John. I'm an Elton guy.
Danzig.
Tiny Danzig?
You ever heard that?
God bless him. Everything about Elton I love. Love him through and through. So stay tuned, see what's going to happen here. We predict a vast thinning of the herd in the next few months, and into 2026, you can count on, bet your bottom's dollar, Gonzo, a lot of them.
This makes me think of Travis Tritt.
How
that
so?
one Travis Tritt song. Bet your bottom dollar I will. You remember that song?
I'm thinking Little Orphan Annie.
Somebody. Yeah, that's a great song.
I'm thinking Annie.
Da-da-da.
I don't think of Travis Tritt.
No,
Ever.
It was Travis Tritt.
Ever. I just think of Firehouse.
Tritt is...
Baby Don't Treat Me Bad, Love of a Lifetime. Shout out to all you Firehouse fans out there. Stay off drugs.
Don't do drugs, especially heroin.
Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Thanks for joining us. Buy your pedals, support your local pedal makers.
Yes.
Independence all the way.